Hey, 8th grade. Welcome to week 4. So we are still moving forward with life science, but now we're going to go into particularly like animals, basically, and what goes on in their life. So this week we're focusing on homeostasis. I've introduced that word to you a couple months ago. You might have forgotten what it means, but homeostasis, this is the word. It's your big vocabulary word this week. It is, so write this down as you're going with me. You can stop this video anytime you need to. It's the behaviors, sorry, allergies. I'm not sick. Behaviors means what you do. Behaviors that allow proper, internal, so something that happens inside, balance, didn't spell that term, balance, despite changing conditions in the environment. So, getting a little ahead of myself. So, an example would be homeostasis is you trying to, it's like a balancing force that's going on. So, if something is not working in your environment, as in you fly up north for the winter because you want to go to Mall of America or something, and it's Christmas time, you're going to get cold. So your body goes into homeostasis, and it starts acting internally and trying to get you warm. So that might be your brain triggering, saying, hey, come on, we got to do something to get this body warm. So that might be you trying to reach for your coat. Or your body might start trying to react to the coldness in some way or effort. Now, if you go down south, because you're going to, I don't know, the Caribbean for spring break, which would be awesome, right? We can't exactly do it now, but one day we can again. And you're really hot, your body's going to react by, you guessed it, sweating out. So it's going to try to release some of that heat in order to get your body back stable. The whole reason for that is because it's trying to make sure that you're maintaining a healthy internal clock balance. So this happens in both plants and animals, any kind of organism. So we're going to talk about the adaptations that go along with homeostasis. How do plants do it? How do humans do it? Like certain things that, or not just humans, but animals. What do we do in order to try to maintain homeostasis happening? So what causes it? Another vocabulary word. This word I'm going to say a lot in this video. Stimulus. Okay? It's the change in environment that triggers, okay, a response. So the heat on the outside of your body, that's the stimulus. It's something that's changed on the outside in your environment that's going to trigger. It's going to cause that brain to react and your body to react and cause a response. So the stimulus is the hot environment or you working out. The response, the trigger is, hey, get yourself cool. The response is going to be sweating. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy, right? Now, you're probably thinking plants don't sweat. Well, there's other ways that they do it. So let's focus on plants first. Plants have 3 different adaptations to help with homeostasis. The first one is tropism. Okay, and then the second one is transpiration, which you probably, I hope, have heard of this word as you've learned about the water cycle all these years. And the last one is dormancy. Now the last one we don't really experience here very much in Texas. So here's your vocabulary words for plants. Okay, these 3 go with plants and their homeostasis. Tropism is plant growth in response to stimulus. You might be thinking, what does that mean? Well, plants have to adapt to their environment. So in order to maintain homeostasis, they have to grow a certain way because they have to figure out what is it that they need. So there's 3 ways that plants can grow. One is towards sunlight. so towards the sun. Another is with gravity. And the last one is against gravity. You're kind of thinking against gravity. Well, that means it's like a vine. It just crawls up the side of the house and bam, it's growing because it doesn't have a structure. Remember we learned about those vascular and non-vascular plants? There's a reason. Those mosses have no internal structure and to be able to maintain. So they have to rely on something else. So tropism is it's going to grow along some kind of structure in order to be able to keep it. Okay, so this is one way, the first way that plants can maintain homeostasis. A lot of plants our vascular ones can grow towards the sunlight. They're going to adjust. So if the sunlight is on this side of the house or wherever it is, the plant can turn itself to face that way. It's kind of cool. So if you have a sunflower, they're like guilty as charged with that. The ones who are going with gravity, that basically means that they're pushing down and they're just growing along the lines. So that's some of our non-vascular plants as well. The next one, transpiration, is the best way to put it is this is a way a plant sweats. That's in layman terms. So if we really have to get a definition here, is plant releases water vapor, so I'm going to put H2O, to help control its water balance and temperature. It's just like evaporation whenever you change states of matter, the water from solid, liquid, gas. Okay, so transpiration, plant releases water vapor, so it's sweating, it's literally sweating to help control the water on the inside and maintain body temperature. So if it's really, it just depends on the environment, honestly. So it relies on the sunlight, but you might be thinking, that's kind of like photosynthesis. Well, yeah, that's like photosynthesis happening. It's really going to release some water. Now, when it comes to desert plants, this is the way, transpiration is also, I said sweating, but it's also it's cooling the plant. But when it comes to desert plants, they don't really go through transpiration a lot because they have to maintain that water however they can. So they're going to suck it up and try to keep it balanced. So you're not going to see that take place very much in cactuses, etc. Dormancy, we really see this a lot when you're up north. Dormancy is just an inactive state. So when it's no longer a viable time for a plant to be growing, as in the sun's not shining very much, there's not a way to get very much water from the ground soaked up, dormancy. So our trees are our best example. Up north, if the trees lose their leaves, they're going through dormancy. They are trying to shed those things because they're starting to shut down for the winter season and they become inactive. That means that they're still alive and they're still sucking up the water and stuff, but it's basically saying, I'm not going to try the effort. That's where we have the seasons that go on, and you can see it in the trees as a great effort. Here in Texas, not so much and whatnot, but it's kind of nice not having to worry about the snow all the time, right? And shoveling it. The reason they go into dormancy is to conserve energy. That's the whole reason why. By slowing down, we'll get to the animals in a second, but by slowing down their metabolism, their heartbeats, their blood circulation, everything, their body is not sucking up and requiring as much energy to be placed into, or effort to be placed into staying alive. So that's what a tree does. So plants, they're going to grow a certain way depending on what's needed. They're going to sweat it out, so they're maintaining their temp levels and dormancy. So they're trying to slow down, conserve energy. When it comes to plant or animals, we are in this category. I promise you, it's allergies. A lot of these have to do with animal behavior. So animal behavior is one of your vocab words. Animal behavior. It's just the response to stimuli. It's very similar to homeostasis. Okay, it's either innate or learn. Now, in your 5th grade year, you should have learned about inherited traits and learned behaviors, okay? Innate behavior is inherited traits. Things you get from mom and dad, they're passed down from generation to generation, that you have are automatic responses. Learned is a learned behavior. Somehow you learned how to do it. Now, when it comes to like communicating, our innate behavior, our instinct is what it's also known as. Write that down for you guys. Our instinct is that we have to communicate somehow. So we cry, we grunt, whatever we do as babies. That's what's inherited. But we learn our language. Okay? Don't get them confused. We know we have to communicate in order to respond and show our concerns, like, hey, I have a wet diaper, but we don't know how to actually use the words yet until mom and dad start talking those words to us, or our language. So, animal behavior is a way to maintain homeostasis. When it comes to our particular ones, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We have 6. So I gotta get some more whiteboards here. You only grab so many when you only have so much time in your classroom, because you're like, oh, quick, what do I need in order to help survive through this? Okay, so the first one is temperature control. And then I'm going to do the first 3. And then we have hibernation. Remember, these are adaptations, things we do to survive. Hibernation. And then we also have estivation. Like, what's that? I'll get to it in a second. Okay, so temperature control. We actually already talked about this with the sweating. It's the way you know that you're trying to control your temperature. One is through sweating, but also it's when blood rushes to the top layer of your skin. So if all of a sudden you're overheated, you'll notice that your face turns red. It's because blood is rushing back, because what it's trying to do is it's trying to respond, trying to maintain homeostasis to get your body cool. So it's it is a external clue for you to say, hey, I gotta slow down and let my body rest and get back in homeostasis. But the various ways that you do temperature control is sweating, panting, mainly for dogs, but sometimes we do that. And also, it doesn't just work for heat, it also works for cold. So if you're very cold, especially a lot of our animals, they have thick fur. Okay, so it's things we've adapted, are innate behaviors in order to maintain a homeostasis. When it comes to hibernation, a lot of you probably already know this because you learned it way back in preschool, it's like dormancy for plants. It's an inactive state of sleep. We are slowing down, we're conserving energy during that time. Now, estivation is the hibernation in summer. So hibernation is in winter, and then estivation is hibernation in summer. So hibernation is when a lot of mammals will go into conserving energy. Estivation, because it's too hot, is when a lot of our insects. So a lot of times you'll start seeing, oh my goodness, the crickets and the bugs and the beetles, they're all starting to come out during spring. Yes, it's because it's starting to cool down and it's starting to become a lot easier for these mammals, animals, organisms, not plants, sorry, just organisms, to start surviving because we can maintain a homeostasis with it. Now, the last couple are real easy. Migration. Oh yeah, we know about that one. Cooperative behavior, which is what I have you guys do a lot in the classroom. So look at that. I'm teaching you homeostasis without you even knowing it. That's what we call lab groups. And then mating behavior. Okay. There's your last 3. So there's 6 that go with humans. There's, with animals. Animals have particular behaviors that maintain homeostasis or help us to adjust. Migration, you move from one place to another, particularly to the warmer spots. Cooperative behavior is working together to accomplish something. There is one animal that's very particular with this, and it's called, there's a couple, but ants and bees work together quite a bit constantly in order to accomplish something big. They can't do it on their own. Though ant can lift 10 times its size, or 100. It's quite a bit. But still, it needs a lot of them in order to make that ant pile work. Mating behavior is what you do to attract a mate. So peacocks, the males have beautiful feathers. The reason for that is because they're trying to show off to the females to attract a mate and everything. Kind of interesting us in our culture as humans and everything. What do we do in order to attract a mate? Well, I don't know. I grew my hair out long. No, just kidding. It's just kind of like little simple things we learn how to adapt and do in order to find that other special person. Cooperative behavior, remember, this is exactly what lab groups is. Migration from here to here, usually to a warmer spot. Okay, that's it. That was a lot of notes, and I'm like, we rushed through it really fast. I think we did it in 15 minutes and everything. Anyway, so let's go over what is required for this week. You have vocabulary due to me. Make sure you're taking your notes because there won't be, what am I saying? I'm trying to think. It's Easter. I'm recording this and I'm trying to keep everything together. Let me go back over. Okay, what's required this week? 1, take your notes from the video because those will be very helpful for when you have a quiz over this. 2, do your vocabulary, please. Don't wait till last minute to do it because vocabulary is easy, guys. Send it to me and I can have you guys make corrections right away. 3, what is your homework for the week? Your homework is a homeostasis brochure. Now, I have uploaded on the lesson plans what is required for the brochure. I have also uploaded a video that will walk you through or show you an example of an amazing homeostasis brochure. What you're doing is that you're going to have the front be a picture with homeostasis on it, so an example. And inside, you're going to talk about the symptoms, which is how do you know your body's going through homeostasis, but also you're going to either put plant or animal to base your brochure on. And you're going to, if you pick plant, you're going to share those 3 different behaviors that plants go through to maintain homeostasis. You're going to add to each of those words, you're going to have an explanation, a picture, and examples of it. So when I say ones that grow against gravity is the moss that's growing, or your vine growing up your water spigot or something on the outside of your house. You got to explain homeostasis. So really good examples and everything. You can go on the internet and get some more good details. But I'm grading you based on filling up every part and how well you put in the effort and the information in there. Yes, it has to be colored. You can bullet point. I'm fine with that. But make it a really good brochure that you can hand to next year's 8th graders and they can go, oh, I get this completely now because this is a quick study guide. That's what we're going for. That's the goal, ultimately. So, vocab, notes, homework. Enrichment activities are choice. If you don't get this stuff, guys, enrichment activities are going to have those notes for you. The last thing is we have a quiz this week. Probably your last quiz because we'll have a project by the end of the 9 weeks in May that we'll get to when we get to it. But your quiz is over photosynthesis and cellular respiration. Quiz like last week, go online, enter the code, make sure your name is in there. If you get stuck or you close out early, email me and we can fix that. So that's it, and I'll see you guys soon. Bye.